Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this edition of ESPN FC's Extra Time, a Friday edition, a laughing Shaka Hislop, a serious Archie Rhind-Tutt, and a smiling Julien. All right, usually in Extra Time we get into things that, a little bit off the wall, stuff we don't get into in the show.
Do we have to maintain this kind of
stare
posture?
At the camera, look at the baby.
Laugh.
Look at the baby, look at the
Archie just so serious and Juls somewhere in the middle?
No, you can mix it up.
Okay.
Extra Time is a long and winding road, as you'll see. We didn't touch on this in the show. Now that you've seen the draw, who will win the Champions League? Shaka? Didn't we just do like a 40-minute show on this?
Yeah, we sure did. And I can't, who did I say during the show?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
I'm going to go Bayern Munich in that case.
Okay, sounds like a safe bet. Archie, what about you? Excuse me.
Liverpool.
Wow, look, that's an Extra Time prediction right there. Why? Archie,
that
why?
won't come back to haunt you at all.
Yeah.
Wait, you're meant to make these seriously? Oh, okay. No, I have. The Champions League is a weird competition where not everything happens that you expect to happen. And I still expect Manchester City to somehow find a way to trip themselves up. So, yeah, Liverpool. Why not?
All right, Shaka, how much do players really care about the draw, considering you can't win the Champions League? Oh, I'm sorry. My producer just jumped in our ear and said it was very rude of me to skip Juls on that question. So
because Juls is going to pick PSG. You know who Juls is going to pick.
No, let's give him his opportunity. You never know. Juls, who's your favorite?
Shaka knows me so well now after all those years working together. I don't need to answer. PSG, and they're going to do it by beating Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and then Liverpool in the final. We do it the big way. Well, we don't do it at all.
There you go. I love it.
See, told you.
Shaka, how much do players really care about the draw, considering you can't win the Champions League without defeating the next best team at some point?
Well, you can get an easy route to the final, and then in the final in a one-off
game. Like PSG last year?
Yeah. You're just trying to upset Jules. You're just trying to get Jules even more upset.
I'm not trying to upset anybody.
PSG deserved to be in the final. Mm-hmm. They earned that right. Okay. Fair and square.
Very well. Jules, do you think we will ever see vintage Hazard like we saw him at Chelsea, or is that electric player gone even with full fitness?
It's a really good question, that. I think that the injury he suffered in that game against PSG, that Meunier tackle on his ankle, and the way the surgery happened, and the piece of metal that he has in his ankle now, the flexibility of the foot won't be the same, that's for sure. I still think that he can recover and almost get to 100% fit, and if he gets fit, even if his foot is maybe not as flexible as it used to be, that sort of the speed on the first 5 yards, which he always had, and I think will always be there if he's fit. So I think you will still get to almost close to the Hazard that we saw at times at Chelsea, but exactly the same way. I think that injury has taken something away, but I want to believe that not too much away from the best of the Hazard we could see.
All right. Jazz wants to know what's next for Mourinho after, of course, Spurs go out of the Europa League against Dinamo Zagreb. Shaka, what do you think?
Listen. If or when Jose Mourinho leaves Spurs, it's only big clubs can afford Jose Mourinho. I don't think Jose Mourinho has any real interest in going anywhere else. I'll be honest, I could only see him landing in Italy. I just feel that he's exhausted so many of his options otherwise, I only see in Serie A, and even then I'm questioning exactly which club.
Interesting question, because he doesn't seem long for Spurs. Archie, what do you think would be a good next step for the special one?
Oh, a good next step. That's a difficult one. I think he could maybe do something at Shaka right now, who are struggling quite badly. He might put them into shape because they're falling apart right now. But yeah, difficult to see who has enough money left to demand Jose Mourinho.
Jules, what do you think? Are we seeing the end of Mourinho at Spurs right now?
Well, he's got 2 more years left on his contract at the end of this season, and considering how much money he earns per season, if they want to sack him and his staff, it would cost them around 40 million euros. So I'm not sure that's an option for them. I think what's next is the Portugal national team. I think that has to be one of his dreams, because it will be for people like him, I think, who means so much to their country. The country means so much to them, and I think at some point Fernando Santos, who's done already an amazing job, especially winning the Euros in 2016. I can't remember against who, but they won the Euros. I think at some point he will leave his position, and then they'll be perfect for Mourinho.
I like
something?
Yeah.
It wouldn't. I don't think it'll happen, but it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest to see Spurs go and upset City in the League Cup final.
Really?
And then all of a sudden, we're talking about Spurs have won silverware.
Right.
And Jose Mourinho has justified everything, and despite the criticism, it's exactly like Jose Mourinho to end up doing that.
Sure. If there was one manager I wouldn't want that huge buyout attached to, though, Jose Mourinho from Spurs. That worries me. Juls, what do you think about the future of Antoine Griezmann? Do you think he's going to be a vital part of Koeman's plans next season, or would it be better for him and Barca to move on and build a future independent of each other?
Again, it's a very good question. I think it will depend a lot on what Messi does to start with, because if Messi decides to go, then I think you could see that there'll be more space to start, more room for Antoine in the team. That I think then you have to choose someone else around who you can build the team, and maybe then he's the right guy. If Messi stays and if Koeman stays as well, and you go down the route of, okay, Messi is going to nurture a very young team, and they need some money to strengthen some of the other positions. Right now they don't have many assets that they don't want to keep, and that would bring them some money, and I think Griezmann is one of them. So I can still see him maybe having to leave the club in the summer, unfortunately.
What was that, Archie? Griezmann to Shaka.
With Mourinho.
Hey, if that happens, if that happens, I think Griezmann's an interesting caliber of player, where he is undoubtedly somebody who would go into almost any team in the world, but is he going to get the status that he thinks he deserves? And the question is, will he find that at Barcelona? I think, as Jules rightly says, it all hangs on what Lionel Messi does this summer.
So just to get this straight, Archie is both a Schalke and Fulham fan?
Wow, that's a lot of suffering.
What a jinx you
Not a
are,
Schalke
Archie.
fan.
No.
Oh, not a Schalke. Okay. I see you have Schalke stuff all around you. I just freely assumed you're a jinx, Archie. That's what it comes down.
That's merely the latest edition of a German football magazine, which is talking about how they're ruining themselves.
Okay, all right. You're forgiven.
Sounds pretty accurate. Shaka, did you ever look for revenge against teams that had devastatingly previously beaten you? Will Salah and Liverpool look for revenge against Ramos and Real Madrid?
Revenge? I'm not sure revenge is the right word.
I mean, it was, but will it still be in their minds, the final? What was it, 3 years ago now? 2.5? 2 and change?
For Liverpool, possibly, given the way the game went with Ramos and Salah, etc., etc. I think that's a possibility. But to the question, if that ever happened to me, no.
You never once.
No.
Did you go out and seek revenge, Shaka?
No, I'm just not that type of person, Sebi. I don't hold grudges. I forget and move on quickly.
Yes, forget you do. Oftentimes here on ESPN FC, like which pick you made earlier in the show. We'll leave it there for now. Plenty more ESPN FC on your screens throughout the week. Jules, Archie, Shaka, thank you so much. Extra Time comes to an end. ESPN FC. Don't miss a single episode.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.